Pristine blue waters, palm-covered islands, and the best surfing in Southeast Asia. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey through Siargao. It's my favourite island, in my favourite country. It's paradise. Hey guys, JMO here, welcome back to another video. I've been making YouTube videos and travelling Southeast Asia for the past 2 to 3 years. In this video, I'm going to share with you everything you need to know about one of the hottest destinations in Southeast Asia right now. If you haven't been to Siargao before, this video is definitely for you. If you have been to Siargao before, I'm sure you want to get back there as soon as possible. So stick around, you'll pick up some useful tips for your next trip. On that note, let's get into the video. Siargao is this beautiful tropical island on the east coast of the Philippines. It's covered in palm trees from top to bottom. It's got beautiful hidden beaches and some of the best surfing in Southeast Asia. One of the best things about the island is that it's completely untouched, so you can jump on a motorbike and just go explore, and it feels like you're on this crazy adventure on this beautiful tropical palm tree island. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. If you're watching this and you have been to Siargao before, comment down below what your favorite thing was about the island, your best experience, favorite memory. I had such a great time there meeting people, traveling, exploring, and I would love to hear from you. If you're watching this and you haven't been to Siargao, comment down below like what you want to know, what you want to find out, what you want to hear about. So before you even get to Siargao, you have two options to get to the island. The first option would be to fly there from somewhere like Manila or Cebu. The flight time from Manila is about an hour and a half and it costs $80 and upwards. The flight from Cebu is about an hour and it will cost you about $40 and upwards depending on when you book it. Second option would be to take a ferry there. So the way that works is you get a ferry from Cebu port to Surigao City. It's an overnight boat. It departs at about 7 p.m. and it gets to Surigao City for 3:30 a.m. and then Surigao City to Dapa. I arrived at the airport 40 minutes from General Luna and I took a minivan from the airport to GL. First night on the island, I would definitely suggest you head down to Cloud9, have a coffee, have a cocktail, have a bit of food, and just take it in. Last day of the local surf competition. So they were having this massive party, this area called the Boulevard, where they had a stage, they had like an awards ceremony for the surfers, then they had a DJ on after, they had food stalls, beers, and then everyone, it just turned into this huge party. It was the perfect way to start my trip on the island. I met the head of the fire department in Surigao City, and he invited me to the fire station office in Surigao City, and he was going to take me out on a fire truck and drive me around the whole city. Siargao is split up into a few main areas. The main nightlife area is General Luna, which is down here, and then you go up to Cloud9, which is like the main surfing area. So between Cloud9 and General Luna, you have a road that connects them both, called Tourism Road. Along that road, you'll have multiple guest houses, you'll have a lot of cafes, you'll have restaurants there. So if you want to be in and amongst everything, almost walking distance to places, I would highly recommend staying on Tourism Road. If you want something a little bit more peace and quiet, but still close to General Luna, you'd want to stay like 5 minutes out of town, basically. When I was in Siargao, I met a guy called Norman, and he was actually building a guest house there, and he was the most lovely guy. He took me up to the grounds of his guest house which he was building, and it was up on a hill with open views of just palm trees, open fields. It was so serene, peaceful and tranquil. Like, it was a beautiful little spot that he was building. He's finished his guest house now. It's called the Living Room. It's the perfect balance between you're right next door to all the clubs, bars, cafes, restaurants, yet you're only, you get home and it's gonna be quiet, it's gonna be peaceful, it's gonna be tranquil, you get a good night's sleep. So I'll definitely link that for you, and say hi to Norman for me. So on the lower end of the spectrum, you've obviously got your hostels. The cheapest one I can find is $6 a night, and that is in the I Love Siargao hostel. So you can get a really good deal. And then on the higher end of the scale, you have the likes of Nay Palad Hideaway, which is a beautiful luxury villa 30 minutes outside GL. You can really step up the luxury of a trip, you know, in somewhere like that. Okay, so let's talk about day trips, adventures, and exploring the island of Siargao. So one of the first things you'll notice when you get to Siargao is that everybody gets around on a motorbike or a little moped. So be sure to do that as soon as you get to the island. Head down to your reception, they'll be able to help you. It costs about 350 pesos per day. First day on the island, you know, you've had a good sleep, you wake up, you're refreshed, and you're ready to go. I would definitely suggest jumping on that motorbike and exploring the island of Siargao. You can head up to Masan River. There's a bent coconut tree that's got a swing off it into the river. You could head up to the rock pools a little bit further north. There's a bridge between Santa Fe and Cloud9 where you've got like kids jumping off the bridge into the water. Super fun. So be sure just to get out there, explore the island. There is a famous road with coconuts lining the whole road. There are loads of those roads on the island, so just go and explore, find your own little slice of paradise, really take it in and enjoy the island. You know, you don't necessarily need a final destination, it's just about getting on the bike, getting on the road and going exploring. I don't think there are many places in the world where you can get on a little fishing boat and hop from island to island for 5-6 hours in a beautiful tropical destination. You know, Siargao is pretty unique in that respect. You can hire a fishing boat for 1,500 pesos and head out there on the water with 6 of your friends. I remember I was on Guyam and I was laying in a hammock. I just ordered a burger and a milkshake. The sun was sort of breaking through the palm trees. I had some music playing, laying back. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been more relaxed or more chilled in my life. It was such a perfect moment. So, no doubt when you're in Siargao, you will want to head to a few bars, a few restaurants, have a few drinks. 100% do that. It's absolutely great. You'll meet the best people. I arrived in Siargao basically alone, and I left that island with like lifelong friends. That's the kind of place it is. We went to some amazing bars, some really nice restaurants, really great food. But one thing we did do was we stayed up all night. You know, after the club was closed, we went to a little sort of eatery, had some food, you could have some beers there, played some drinking games, and basically stayed up the whole night till sunrise. The sun was rising, and we all headed down to the beach area. There were fishing boats sitting there and the sun was rising. So we got on the fishing boat with the surfers and headed out to the reef break and just got off the boat and just sort of stood in the water. It was kind of like up to here. The sun was rising, the surfers were in the distance. It was just a perfect little moment on the island. It was really cool. And I was with Norman and Maxim, my 2 friends that I met there. And yeah, we had a great time just watching the sunrise, you know, chilling in the water. So you'll probably ask yourself, you know, how long should you spend on the island? You know, if you only have 2 weeks or 3 weeks in the Philippines, I would put aside at least 7 days for Siargao. The reason being, there is a lot to do on the island, plus it's also a really great place just to chill out and relax. My last trip, I made sure that Siargao was the last week of my trip, and I was able to do, you know, like the island hopping, explore the island. But in the last few days, I was able just to completely relax and chill out. For me, when I travel, I am constantly with the camera, shooting, taking photos, getting up for sunrise, making sure I'm out for sunset, just making sure I'm always doing something related to videography or photography. And it is a bit of a job, you know, it is a lot of work. So having those last few days in Siargao just to completely switch off, relax, meditate, do some yoga, you know, drink some good coffee, have good food at a beach bar. That being said, Siargao is the perfect place for it. You can have this adventure holiday, but you can also have some complete R&R. If you're a long-term traveler, you know, I would spend a month in Siargao. It's a cool spot and there are a lot of digital nomads there, a lot of travelers, a lot of people, you know, doing interesting different things, and you'll be able to meet some really cool people. I wouldn't rush to Siargao and spend 3 days there. You'll end up getting there, and if you have to leave within 3 days, you feel like you'll have missed pretty much the magic of the island, you know? So where to eat and where to drink in Siargao. I don't want to give you too many recommendations for this because things do change pretty fast, and I know from talking to Norman, my friend who lives there, that some places that I was actually going to suggest in this video have actually closed now. Yeah, so I don't want to give too much information on where to eat, where to drink, but what I will say is you're not going to be stuck for good food options, good drink options in Siargao. Most of the cafes and restaurants and clubs, that type of thing, are situated in General Luna, which is the main town. So even just driving from GL up to Cloud9 through Tourism Road, you'll find many restaurants, cafes, bars serving great food, drinks. Actually, there was one place, Corner Cafe. It's a cool little cafe, and you can go upstairs, and it's just a square kind of room with beanbags on the floor, and you can just chill there, have a coffee. It's got a real relaxed vibe. That's a cool little spot. You should check that out, actually. I'm sure once everybody's traveling again and everything gets back to normal, that there will be many more cafes, restaurants opening up on the island of Siargao. So one thing I will say about Siargao is that the Wi-Fi on the island isn't the best. It can be quite frustrating at some points trying to just do simple things. So just bear that in mind. If you can get a place with good Wi-Fi, good connection, it's absolutely invaluable. Norman tells me that his place in the living room has really good Wi-Fi there. You know, you can stream like YouTube videos, no problem. It's fast connection. So that is actually a really valuable thing on the island. So just do bear that in mind, that most places the Wi-Fi isn't great. I'm going back to Siargao pretty soon. I want to go back there and find some completely unique things on the island. Most of the island is unexplored, so I reckon I can find you guys some really cool spots. So I'm going to go back and do an unexplored version of this video. I really do hope you have a great time in Siargao. It's an absolutely fantastic island. There is so much to do there. It has so much to offer. The people are incredible. The place is beautiful. I hope that was useful. I hope that was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel and haven't watched any of my videos before. Build a bigger community on YouTube, which is what this is all about. You know, building a community with other like-minded people who like to explore the world, do cool things. And that's the whole point. And that's why we do this. That's why we love making videos. So guys, thanks again and good night.